Super simple, non-toxic swaps for your body. The title's a work in progress. Hi, if you're new here, my name is Jamie Wolfer. I was about to say I'm on your online wedding planner. I am. I have a whole separate channel where I help people plan their weddings, but then I have this little secret channel over here where I get to let my true freak flag fly, which is basically talking about crunchy stuff and homesteading and DIYing and house decor and vlogs. That's my freak flag. Baby goats. And thrifting. In today's video, we're going to talk about some super simple, non-toxic and or less toxic swaps for you to make for some personal care items. Disclaimer, I'm definitely not the only person on the internet talking about this. These are just some of the products that I've known and loved. I'm pretty sure everything on this list I've used for over a year, if not for multiple years on end. So the reason that I'm making this video is because y'all kept asking for it, okay? And yesterday, I actually released a podcast over on the Lovely Humans Club podcast with me, Jamie Wolfer, a whole thing about what are EDCs, endocrine disrupting chemicals, and why should you care? So that was a pretty heavy one. I'm going to go ahead and link it right up here if you are interested, because you hear all these people talking about like non-toxic or less toxic lifestyles, and what does that mean? Well, we did like a shallow dive into what they are, what they can do to the body, and where they can be found in that podcast. I also released the video version of it here on this channel. If you are interested, you could definitely go take a look at that. But basically, endocrine disrupting chemicals, or EDCs, are things that mess with your hormones. They mess with your body, your thyroid. They can be cancer causing. There's a lot of things that are in a lot of the products that we use every single day that most people think are regulated, and they're not. There is, I don't think there's been any change in is it skincare or makeup regulation since 1938. We in the United States have, I can't even tell you how many chemicals that are allowed in our products that are not allowed in other parts of the world, in the UK, the European Union, places like that where they have so much cleaner ingredients. And so it's frustrating as a consumer to go like, well, what am I supposed to do? So you can obviously take to the internet and do a bunch of different research, or you can watch this video and I can just tell you what some of my favorites are, and you can try them out and see if they work well for you, because there are a ton of options. What I love about this low tox / non-tox living is that people are coming out of the woodwork with all these like great ideas. Also, there's a lot of people coming out with greenwashed ideas. So, you know, that's why you got to read your labels, folks. Now, if you are interested, I have put together a low tox guide. I think I can link it right here if you want to check it out. If not, it'll be down in the description box. And it's basically all of these products that I'm going to talk about. Today is specifically personal care, and I will do another video on household non-toxic or low toxic items. And I use those terms almost interchangeably because it's impossible to get no toxins in your life, right? But I like to aim for lower toxins simply to lessen my body's toxic load, simply because that sounds way more achievable in my brain noggin than going for completely non-toxic, because that is not achievable for me. All this makeup on my face right now, totally toxic. I love this lip color, don't you? It's my favorite. Oh my gosh, longest intro ever. So without further ado, let's just jump right on into it. First up, let's talk about whole body skincare, lotion, body wash, those sorts of things. And I jumped on the tallow trend. I use this for cooking. I use this as a lotion replacement when I need it. It sounds weird until you get into it. This is my second 4-pound tub. And we're about halfway through it, okay? And I know there's a lot of hubbub on the interwebs about tallow and whether or not it's good for you, but let's go ahead and read a couple of things from toupsandco.com, which is actually a clean skincare company that I've ordered from on multiple occasions, for the benefits of tallow, real quick. It is rich in vitamins A, D, E, and K. These vitamins are naturally occurring, meaning they're more bioavailable, which means your body knows what to do with them instead of their synthetic cousins, which your body doesn't know how to process as well. Vitamin A is actually a natural retinol, and vitamin K fights free radical damage. I see that written everywhere, and I've looked it up before, but I forgot what that means. But it sounds fancy. It has linoleic acid, which is an omega-6 fatty acid and an antioxidant. So it gets rid of oxidants. That's what anti means. It also can reduce acne, minimize scarring, and rebuild the skin barrier, the acid mantle. Tallow is also naturally anti-inflammatory and antibacterial. What I love about tallow specifically is that it doesn't strip your skin. So it adds moisture in without killing any of the good bacteria that's living on your skin, because you actually need that there. Anti-inflammatory properties sweep in to help calm redness, acne, and other inflammation. So if you are experiencing any of those, now I will say for the record, I don't typically use tallow on my face. I've had a few minor like extra pimples pop up. I don't know if it's from this or maybe it's getting stuff out of my skin. I'm not entirely sure, but I don't tend to put this on my face. I use other things instead, but I'm not against it. Like if I need a heavy moisturizing for my face, this is my exact go-to. And it can actually increase collagen production. So, you know, like if you're worried about wrinkles or sagging and stuff and face things, you might want to give tallow a try. It mimics your skin barrier, so it's more closely to your skin's natural sebum, your natural oil that you have on your skin. This is one of the most powerful benefits of tallow balm and why it is a skincare superfood for most people. Tallow is an animal product, and because of this, it's easier for our skin to recognize than most plant products. The chemical makeup of high-quality tallow balm is extremely similar to our own skin's DNA. That being said, this does not work for everybody. Like I said, I get like little minor pimples on my face if I use this on there too frequently. So every once in a while, if I need like a heavy moisturizing day, I do this. That's totally fine, but this is not my daily face moisturizer. Next up for whole body, let's talk about hand wash and body wash, okay? Now, I will say I do think that bar soaps, especially non-toxic bar soaps, are a fantastic solution. I don't have any of the names of our bar soaps left. We have a bunch of them. They're all over our house, but we bought them locally from the farmer's market or from a local farm store, or we have this place called, is it Homestead Heritage nearby us? It's a Mennonite community, and we've bought soap from them before as well. So that is a fantastic solution. But if you're looking for something that you can just like add to cart right now, might I recommend Pure Castile soap. Now I use this for hand soap, and we can also use this for dish soap as well. This can be a little strong on the body though. So it can really, we talked about acid mantle briefly when we talked about tallow. Your skin has like a bacteria, your skin has a lining on it called the acid. Let me look this up so I don't screw this up. The acid mantle is a very thin, delicate, slightly acidic film covering the entire surface of human skin, serving as a protective barrier against pathogens. So when you use really intense soaps on your face, on your body, etc., all the places you use soap, if it's super strong, it will actually break down that acid mantle, and then therefore you don't have anything protecting your skin from those pathogens. So people do use Castile soap as a body wash. I personally don't think that that's the best option. You'll see this is most commonly seen in Dr. Bronner's. We use Dr. Bronner's for years. I love it. It's got a bunch of really clean ingredients in it, but I found it to be a little bit too harsh on our skin in general. So I like to use this for hand soap. I will actually cut it with water, which makes it really watery, which is annoying as heck, which is why we stick with mostly bar soaps. Okay. But if you do a half and half, like half cup of this and half cup of water mix, that makes a really good hand wash. I also see shampoo on this. I think, again, that would be too harsh in my opinion personally. Facial cleanser, nope, again, too harsh. Hand washing dishes, we definitely use this for hand washing dishes as well. And cleaning spray, I've used it a couple times. Shaving, probably not. Laundry detergent, definitely could do this, but this is pretty labor intensive. Boil 4 cups of water, then slowly dissolve half a cup of washing soda, a quarter teaspoon of baking soda, and a quarter teaspoon of kosher salt. Allow to cool, then add 12 cups of water. Slowly stir in a cup of this. I am not doing all of those steps. But if you're looking for a powerhouse of a tool for your cleaning kit, I would highly recommend getting some organic Castile soap. We, again, only really use this for hands and then also for dish soap, but you can, of course, use it for any of the other items that we have listed on there. This next option is definitely not non-toxic. It has a couple things in here that are not necessarily ideal, but I have been using this Olivia Everyday Shea body wash for quite some time now, and it's a lot cleaner than some of the other alternatives that you're gonna find. What you don't want is you really don't want that like squeaky feeling on your body after using your body wash. So it has no synthetic dyes, no animal testing, no parabens, no phthalates, no sodium lauryl sulfate, no synthetic fragrance, and no mineral oil, which we discussed all in the podcast yesterday, how those can be endocrine disrupting. So this is a lot better. It still has phenoxyethanol in it, right, as a preservative, because we don't want it molding on the shelf. So you want to be mindful of how much phenoxyethanol you use on your body on the daily. Now, my favorite body wash of all time is something called Olivia, and it's all organic, all natural, prebiotic body wash. So we're talking about that acid mantle, right? We want to protect that. And in the same way, we want to protect the acid of our stomach. Kind of the same idea going on here, right? So when we use a prebiotic body wash, the enzymes actually help to support your skin's acid mantle. I love what they say here. Together with 7 simple, all natural organic ingredients, Olivia gently removes dirt, toxins, and excess oil on your skin's surface while feeding your healthy skin microbiome and preserving your skin's natural protectants. Again, that acid mantle that we really want to take care of. I just happened to run out of that, and I was at Natural Grocers and picked this up. That is my favorite one, but it is also $24. And we have a lot of bodies to wash in our house. So this is where you need to decide what works best for your family and for your pocketbook. Moving right along to facial cleansing. All right. For the most part, I do oil cleansing. On the day-to-day, I usually don't wear really heavy and or intense makeup, and oil cleansing is just enough to kind of do the trick to get any of the remaining makeup off by the end of the day. This is actually a cold-pressed jojoba oil that comes in a plastic bottle, and I switch it over to glass one, because it makes me feel fancier, 2, so it's stored in glass moving forward. almost already got microplastics. Again, this makes me feel fancier, okay? What I love about jojoba oil specifically is, again, a lot like tallow, it mimics the skin's natural sebum, your natural oil. So we're not throwing something on top of your face that your body doesn't know what to do with. So if you are into oil cleansing, it's the hard part for me is there. We're going to go on a side rant, okay? The hard part for me when it comes to skincare, self-care, body wash, hair care is so much of this is like very indulgent and a little bit ritualistic, right? Where we want to spend the time doing our skincare and we want to spend the time knowing that we're nourishing our hair. So we want the products that when we pick it up and we read the labels make us feel good, like we are treating our hair to this service, right? Or we're treating our body to this. And a lot of times these products can actually have multi-purposes, right? So this, you're also going to see when I talk about face lotions or face moisturizers, this is on that list too. And the negative side of that is we often believe that we need a lot of different products and or fancy or specifically labeled products in order to get that job done. So if I don't get a cleansing oil from Tasha, right, then it's not going to do the same thing as the jojoba oil will. I had to take like 3 times. It's a hard word. It's not going to smell the same. It might not exactly feel the same, but it's going to do the same exact job at a fraction of the cost. So this is organic specifically because we try to avoid pesticides in as many products as we can. And it's also cold pressed. You probably have heard the term cold press get tossed around a lot. What the frick does that mean? Everyone's like, was Jamie's just about to swear on her channel? I'm going to read a little excerpt from totallykiwi.co.nz because it was the top one that showed up when I Googled it. Cold pressing is a form of expeller pressing, which means it is a mechanical extraction method. So that you're squishing the oils out of the seeds, which again, we're not going to talk about seed. Jojoba seeds are like huge. You could probably manually extract them. Listen to my justification on this. As opposed to like grapeseed oil where you can't like manually extract that as easily. Does that make sense? That's where my brain's at with that. Okay. Expeller pressing crushes the seed, forcing out the oil through pressure. But beware, all expeller methods are not equal. Some expeller methods require the seed to be dried, dehulled, cracked, and even heated. Using heat extracts more oil from the seed, right? Which sounds great, but the heat can degrade the oil's flavor and nutritional quality. Oh, we're talking about food seeds, oils. It also works for your skin, okay? Track with me. True cold pressing is unique in that it is environmentally friendly and does not use heat or chemicals during the production process. The temperature during the production process is also strictly controlled. Cold pressed oils therefore retain the nutritional properties and health benefits that would otherwise be damaged by being exposed to heat. They also contain valuable bioactive substances that are not present in refined oils. Refined is usually when they're heat refined. So that's when I gravitate to any sort of oil I'm going to use for cooking and or on my body. I gravitate towards cold pressed ones whenever possible. Because if I'm going to pay all this money for olive oil, I want to make sure that it's been cold pressed. I'm getting the best bang for my buck. Jojoba, same thing. Another great option for face wash, I would say would be Primally Pure. I personally have not tried any of these. So just want to be real clear about that. But I've heard fantastic things from girlfriends who have tried it. And I myself am currently looking at, I don't know. I might want to do the plumping bar. Let's read the ingredients real quick. Palm oil, coconut oil, olive oil, sodium hydroxide, coconut milk, pink kaolin clay, essential oils of geranium, rosemary, and carrot seed, rose powder, and rosemary extract. And palm oil is actually technically from the fruit and not from the seed itself, so it does not count as a seed oil. The same with avocado and coconut oils. Those are not actually seed oils. Those are fruit oils. Moving right along to moisturizers and masks for your face. All right. So moisturizers, again, jojoba oil is a fantastic option. I also have a vitamin E oil. This is from Bellaterra Oils. Unrefined, cold pressed, organic, all of the trigger words. Okay. All of them. And this one is made from wheat germ specifically. It's usually at night where I will do jojoba or beef tallow and then a couple drops of this and mix that together and press that into my face before I go to sleep. Actually, a little bit before I sleep because I don't want to get all over my pillowcase. Okay. But this is a fantastic option. Again, we have all those things that we're looking for: organic, cold press, etc. And again, kind of like we mentioned before, another great face moisturizer for so many people would be tallow. Again, specifically, this is grass fed. And is it grass finished yet? And if I get into the whole process of grass versus grain, this is going to be way too long of an episode. We're just going to keep moving right along. Okay. Now, in the world of masks, you usually see that at least there are two top categories that I tend to see: moisturizing and or clarifying. Clarifying is when you got too much stuff going on in your face, right? And you need to clarify. Let me clarify. You got to get out of here. And for that, I have bentonite clay. I have had this one container for I don't even know how many years. If I can find the purchase date, I'll put it on the screen. It is I don't know, a fourth of the way used. I really don't tend to use that often. I actually don't really have an acne prone face, so the situation might be different for you. But this works great on pimples for spot treatment. This works great as a clarifying mask for your entire face. This also works really nicely on top of bug bites. I don't know how this little miracle powder does it, but it draws the stuff out. So if you were looking for moisturizing, I would say Tallow. Clarifying, I would say bentonite clay. Now for makeup, I actually have a whole review here on this channel of one of my favorite clean beauty makeup brands, and that would be Beauty Care Naturals. I have been using them for several years now and really like a lot of her products. It's a really small shop. I love supporting them, so that's fantastic. I've also heard great things about Crunchy and Primally Pure. I believe those linked down below. I do want to try both of those because I don't like that so many natural beauty products are like the LaCroix of beauty products. Looks like someone burped tint in the same room where they're making their sunscreen or their oil or whatever. Moving right along to hair care. This has been my ride or die for years, and now we have to say goodbye, which is so sad. I love Under Luna shampoo and conditioner. Here's the deal though. These are the 16-ounce bottles that she is no longer going to be making, which I can't afford to keep doing. Like, these are $54 a bottle. And everyone but my husband uses these, all right? So, like, I've been investing in using this really high-end, really clean shampoo for years, and she is doing away with these because her concern is that people have them for too long, and a lot of products sitting on shelves have a lot of preservatives in them. She doesn't want to do that. Even though it says best within 1 year of purchase, 6 months from opening, she is now downsized to only 8-ounce bottles. But they're literally $1 more an ounce, and we can't afford to do that anymore. So I'm trying out different shampoo bars. I'm still going to leave these on the list because I think they're absolutely incredible, and they're totally worth you checking out, especially if it's just you shampooing your hair or you and your spouse. But for a family of now 6 people, it's too much. I can't do it. Next up, dry shampoo. I love this stuff, okay? It's called arrowroot powder, and it's literally just a root that's been ground up into a powder. And this one has a little bit of cinnamon in it. I had it off to the side. Long story short, my roots are darker because this is more of my natural color. I went to get my hair dyed, and it was awful. She didn't even ask me what hair color I wanted and just like went with it. So it's fine. I'm not mad. So what you do is, well, if you have darker hair or darker roots at the moment, momentarily darker roots, you can mix in a little bit of cinnamon to have it shade match a little bit. Shade match. Listen to me like I know what I'm talking about. A fluffy brush is a great option for this. So you dip it in, tap off the excess. I dipped too hard. Okay. And then we're going to slightly just tap it in. I'm not going to do too much right now because I'm on camera, and then blend. So if my hair is super greasy and I know I don't have time to shower like the next morning, I will actually do it the night before. So I'll actually part my hair out and do it between all the layers. Another fantastic way to apply this is actually, barbers use this and they spray baby powder on the neck to kind of help clear off any of the extra little hairs or prevent the little hairs. I don't know. This is a barber thing, but it like, and you can do that all over your head if you want to as well. I get a little exhausted using this. This is fantastic for like spot treatment. If you're running out the door and you don't have time to like, get in. Like, what is happening here? This bang keeps splitting. I'm realizing as I'm looking at this list of things that I actually forgot to include a few things. So I think I'll need to update that eventually. But one of the first things that I switched over in my non-toxic journey was actually my razor. I now use a safety razor. This is super cute. It's like a rose gold. My husband bought it for me. And it has the replaceable blades, which as a woman, you're going to need to replace blades all the time. Dudes don't have to as much, right? Because it's just their face. But like our legs, very intense, okay? But the little softening strips that you get on your razor blade actually have, you guessed it, a bunch of chemicals in them. So, not ideal. I will say there was definitely a learning curve to using this. I am super prone to getting razor burned, like really, really, really bad. So this took some getting used to. Still, sometimes when I swap out the blades, I'm like, oh great, I have to relearn how to do this real quick. But in my opinion, I would rather go super slow and get a really nice, neat, clean shave than have cancer-causing ingredients on my razor blade, especially in tender areas like under your armpit. Speaking of which, Primally Pure. This is not sponsored, okay? I love this deodorant. For those who don't know, I'm a wedding planner. I'm not currently planning any weddings, but I've been trying to find the perfect non-toxic deodorant, and this is up there. My other favorite would be Piper Way, which is Piperwei, Way. That one was really good. That also had charcoal in it. I could use that on wedding day and would not have any smell at the end of the day. The same applies for this. These two are my favorite. Now, the two most riveting sections and/or categories for last, the teeth and feminine products. Okay, so if you're a dude, you could just like skip away right now. Let's talk about oral care, okay? Great. First of all, tooth powder. This is technically a paste because it's had some like liquid in it. This is Uncle Harry's Natural Products toothpaste. Spearmint. Spearmint's not my favorite. I wish they had a peppermint version, but they don't. But what I love about this is it's pH balancing, restoring, freshens breath, and whitens gently. I have never had as good of a clean as I do when I use this. I love this stuff. I also love the liquid remineralization for tooth enamel, the drops that they come out with. I have not used these often enough to really see any sort of glaring difference, but the marketing got me. And I would love for my teeth to be mineralized. But as is the case with all this stuff, you always want to read the labels to make sure it's not just greenwashed, okay? Like you want to actually see and read clean ingredients on the back. If you don't know how to read labels, in that low tox guide, there is a whole section of the most common chemicals that you'll see. You can also download the Yuka app. It's a fantastic way of just scanning to see how clean a product is. When it comes to floss, this is it for me. It's the Radius Silk Floss. Earth-friendly, biodegradable, waxed, hand-spun fair trade silk, compostable, and no PFAS. We talked about that in the podcast yesterday as well, what PFAS are and how they're harmful, endocrine disruptors. So what we're looking at is literally just like, it looks exactly like normal floss does. It doesn't have a minty taste. They do have ones that have flavors to them. This is not one of those. And then lastly, but most certainly not least, let's talk about feminine care products. Okay. I am now a menstrual cup girly. I have been for several years. Although I just heard recently more about silicone not being as helpful or like performing a lot like plastic does. So I really want to dive into that. But the ease of using a menstrual cup, unparalleled. Unparalleled. As long as I'm maintaining a proper schedule, I don't have to worry about leaks anymore at all whatsoever. It's fantastic. And I tend to have a pretty heavy flow for the first day or so. So I am a huge advocate of using a menstrual cup. I love them. We do have organic tampons and organic pads on hand should I want to use those, or I do have two daughters that do use those as well. So we use the L organic tampons. And then especially for postpartum, I use the honey pot pads. They were great. And then now I keep those on hand for the girls as well. And so the reason that you want to be using cleaner ingredients down there, okay, this is going to be the most repulsive, okay, analogy. All right? It's going to be gross, okay? Do you ever watch Jackass? Stay with me. When Steve-O chugged a beer up his booty and got drunk? Okay. Disgusting word picture, but very powerful. Okay. There's more than one way for your body to absorb chemicals. And down there is one of those ways. So if we are putting cotton up there in our bodies that has a ton of chemicals on it, not regulated at all whatsoever, how quickly do you think we are absorbing those? Not ideal. Not ideal. No. All right, I'm going to go ahead and cut myself off there, guys, because I could probably keep talking about clean ingredients, low toxic stuff for quite some time. Basically, here's the long short of it. If you would like to download the low tox guide, I will leave that linked in the description box below. There are two options. If you want, you could pay $5 for it, $4.99. Or there's an option to opt out and go get it completely for free. Totally up to you. I've literally told you all of the ingredients, all of the brands. You don't need to buy it if you don't want to. There's nothing proprietary about it whatsoever. But if you'd like to and you want to support this channel and support what I do, then please feel free to. Again, no skin off my back, whichever way you decide. If you would like to have links for all these items, again, that is in the description box below in the Lower Tox Lifestyle Guide. So not only will you walk away with a shopping list of things that you could purchase, but ingredients to look out for and a couple helpful reminders along. That's what I have for today's video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. This took so much longer than I thought it was going to. Really putting that Primarily Pure deodorant to work because it's hot in this little, I have an air conditioning unit, but I keep it off when I record. So it's really hot. It's really hot. If you have any lower tox or non-tox suggestions that you really, really like, will you please drop those in the description below? Also, if you have any experience with Primarily Pure, like face cleansing bars, or their makeup or crunchy makeup, let me know down below. As always, thank you so much for watching. I hope that you found this encouraging and inspiring and not at all daunting. I know it's a lot to kind of dive into, so maybe some of these products will be your gateway drug into less drugs. And until next time, bye guys!